Hello and welcome. This is Jackson Carmichael, here to tell you the story about Everett Corbin and Hamilton King, two explorers inspired by the 5th chapter of Dr. Mark J. Plotkin's book, Tales of a Shaman's Apprentice. In that chapter, they find a deadly poison used on arrows known as curare. Our adventurers wanted to go out and see if they could create their own sort of curare, so they adventured into the wilderness. First, they went out on their canoes through the deadly, treacherous forest, where the river sometimes disappeared. They were brave, seeing many, many things, learning many things. Now, a curare, as I said, is a type of poison put on arrows. Many tribes all over the planet use different types made of different plants, and most are very, very secretive. The interesting thing about a homemade curare is it's not guaranteed it's going to work. After all, you can't just shoot something and expect the poison to kill it. You need to look for certain things that the poison enacts. Very specific things. So our adventurers carried on. They searched through the wilderness for days and days, looking. Similar to Dr. Plotkin, although he had been to this tribe before, when he initially asked about the curare, he was ignored. It was a deep secret, he believed. And since there was no tribe where these two stalwart adventurers were, there was nobody to ask. They had to look for themselves, taking on dangers, tasting rare plants, not knowing at any moment they could drop dead from poisons or indigestion. Yes, it is truly great to be an adventurer. Look, as Everett and Hamilton are now discovering what may be the poisonous, I'm not sure what sort of plant that is. It's certainly not indigenous to the state of Tennessee, that's for sure, because they aren't there. They're in the wilderness. The great outdoors on another continent, and it may look like something in Tennessee, but it's not, I swear. Intelligently, they do not taste it, which is incredibly lucky, for this would be a main ingredient in their curare. Now, they are searching for what could be a nesting ground of a local species. As after they found the nesting ground, they decided to make the curare and poison the tips of their arrows. It's a very long process that involves the smashing of the fruit they discovered. Hamilton, making sure Everett knows how it works, after all Hamilton was an expert, continues in the mashing. It's very important to liquefy the juices. After all, if you don't liquefy it, it might as well be just a poisoned chunk that could fly off the arrow at any time. If you soak the tip of the arrow in the curare, you will be more effective. It will be likely that the arrow will pierce the skin of the unlucky animal and poison it, even quicker. It's a long process indeed, but the curare would be deadly. Unbelievably so. As you can see, the arrow is being prepared right now. Everett wants to make sure everything is all right. Hamilton is telling him to crush more, but he wants him to hurry. Now Hamilton will take the tip of the arrow and dip it into the curare, thus making it one of the most dangerous weapons ever held by man. Now, after the arrow's been tipped, there was only one thing to do. Keep a lookout on that nest and see if there any animals would be present. After finding an animal, Hamilton takes his shot. The indigenous species, the pink green-eared fluff bear, stood no chance. Yes, the pink green-eared fluff bear immediately went down to the curare. As Everett inspects the corpse, it has gone limp. A sad sight indeed. Hamilton inspects the corpse. My apologies. Little did Everett and Hamilton know was that the pink, green-haired, fluff, bear, or bunny, both, it goes by both names, is a nearly extinct species, and this was the last documented recording of it. As Everett cruelly pokes at the corpse, they partake in one final victory feast. The animal is cooked over a fire, and then they will eat it. Luckily for the cameraman, he did not have any of this, for the curare poisoned the animal, but the animal already had natural poisons. The bright colors should have indicated them, Everett and Hamilton, to that, but they were too focused on their joy of actually succeeding in the curare that they didn't pay much attention to the animal. As its corpse burned, they prepared their dinner plates for what would be their last meal. The next morning, their bodies were found by the cameraman in the same positions as the arrow, as if the spirits had positioned them. Well, that's all. The final adventures of Everett Corbin and Hamilton King. I hope you enjoyed this. Good night.